the historic Knickerbocker Hotel. Now, the Knickerbocker is pretty much the place to be. They said that they would have lines all the way around the corner, even just for lunch. It was mainly a bar. From what I understand, the bar was right over there, that area. So the famous director D.W. Griffith really was famous for being the first director to really make monumental movies, like larger than life movies. He was responsible for Birth of a Nation and Intolerance, which they're very time sensitive. If you're not politically correct and find racism funny, you'll find them very humorous as to just how racist they are. But if you find racism offensive, I wouldn't recommend watching it. But he was a huge director, and he ended up actually dying in the right in the middle of the the lobby of this building. He was passing through and passed out and died right in the lobby. Also, in the front steps, you'll see, we'll go over there and get a little bit better look, but those front steps, William Frawley, who played Fred Mertz on I Love Lucy, he actually had a heart attack right there on those steps. He was a resident of this building, and someone that worked here helped him in, and he also died in the lobby of this building. So there's a lot of history. Now, as you can see, there's a little bit of an overhang where that Hollywood sign is ADHC. That overhang will come into play when I tell you a story here a little bit later. Now, the roof of this building was actually pretty famous because from 1926 till 1936, Harry Houdini's wife would hold a yearly seance on his birthday, which I believe was also Halloween. When Harry Houdini was alive, the last few years of his life, he was really studying the paranormal and whether there was life after death, and he told her that if there was a way to communicate after death, that he would communicate with her. There was a key word, I forget what the word was, but that if he could communicate with her, he would say that word or make that word known. And for 10 years she would have a seance up there, and the last year that she had it, they actually filmed it and televised it to the world. And I don't know if it's true, but there were reports that it did rain that night only on top of the Knickerbocker. Now, also up here on the 11th floor, which would be right up in here, right about there, those windows, a famous costume designer who was having an affair with Gary Cooper killed herself there. She claimed that Gary Cooper, she was married to Cedric, oh, what was his name? He was a famous director, Cedric. If you know your 30s cinema, you'll know who I'm talking about. But she always called the love of her life Gary Cooper, and when Gary Cooper died, she just couldn't handle it. Came here, rented out a room on the 11th floor, went up, drank a bottle of vodka, and tried to slit her wrist. And when slitting her wrist didn't kill her quick enough, she went to the window up there on the 11th floor and jumped out and actually landed on that overhang right over here. And the legend is that her body, that's not the original one, there was actually like or maybe that is the original one. I'll insert some pictures from the heyday and you can kind of compare them. Her body laid there for what they say like 5 days before anybody discovered that she was dead. Also, when I think I mentioned earlier that this place really started kind of like losing its fame in the 50s. One of the people who continued to use this as his main hotel when he was in town was Elvis Presley. So I'm gonna post, there's some famous pictures of Elvis walking in the front doors right there, and also staying in his room. What this hotel was also pretty famous for is that Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio used to frequent it and had their honeymoon here. The old door guy, the old man who would greet people at the curb, tells a story about how when they got married, or right before they got married, he told Joe DiMaggio, "Don't do it, Joe, it's a mistake." And Joe DiMaggio didn't talk to him for 3 months, and then when the marriage eventually did end, he went up to him and said, "Well, you were right." Now, a lot of the appeal to this place was the bar. Now, the security guard here has told me that this over here was the bar, but from all the accounts, from everything that I'm reading and pictures I'm seeing, this side over here was actually the bar, the world famous bar. They say Gene Autry, all the old cowboys, like that era of cowboys, Gene Autry, Hopalong Cassidy, those kind of people would frequent it. Anybody who was a mega celebrity. Also, an interesting thing about this building is the actress Frances Farmer, who had a lot of mental health issues in her life, was arrested from here. She, I guess earlier in the night, she had attended a party where she took her sweater off and was running down Sunset Boulevard, and then eventually made her way over here, and the police tracked her down for a parole violation and broke down the doors of the bathroom here to pull her out. And there's a famous picture of that. If I can find it, I'll go ahead and add it in. I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna go ahead and cross the street and show you what would be the old bar area. I think now it's like a hair salon or something else. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but we'll get the front view of that, and I'll see if I can get inside and get the front lobby, because even though it's not the original lobby, this place was known for its illustrious lobby where you could meet anyone going through, and people would just hang out there all day. I'll insert some pictures of the lobby as well, and you can compare how much it's changed. So these are the front steps where William Frawley, Fred Mertz, would have had his heart attack. And they would have brought him in through here. Now this is the same doorway that I'm going to post a picture of Elvis Presley. There's me and John, the reflection. Elvis Presley walking through this doorway. So here's the front door where I'm going to post this picture of Elvis coming in. It's changed a little. They don't have the address above it anymore, but that is the same doorway that Elvis, and that was the main entrance to this place. I'll come up here and flip around. You can see this is what the inside of the lobby looks like now. It's changed quite a bit since its heyday. But that's the same area where William Frawley and D.W. Griffith both would have died. And this is just a walk around the front.